All right, we're Giancarlo Bodoni at the Roca Training Facility in Austin, Texas. Big, who's number one title fight coming up for you? But I mean, first off, you just won ADCC, the biggest accomplishment of your career. How are you feeling about that?
I feel good. I'm happy, obviously, with the result. But there's so many big events coming up that I can't really bask too much in the ADCC victory. So enjoyed it. It's passed, and now just trying to build off of that performance.
Yeah, you're not slowing down. You're building off that momentum. And I mean, one of the things that you got coming up is this who's number one main event title match for Pedro Marinho for the light heavyweight title. What do you think about this matchup?
I think it's a great matchup. Pedro, I asked for the Pedro match because I wanted to go to the, I wanted to get the belt, obviously. I've had some experience on who's number one, and I love the format. So he's a tough opponent. He's a physical guy. He knows how to compete well. He's competed at a high level for a while. So it's a match that poses certain challenges, certain threats, but I feel pretty confident going in.
So John was telling us you guys have a history together, you and Pedro. What's your history in competition like that?
We competed twice. I know him on a personal level, just through competitions and stuff, and he's a super nice guy. But we competed twice. I submitted him the first time we competed. It was in a gi match, and then he finished me with a guillotine the last time we competed. I think it was like 2 years ago, so we haven't seen each other in a while. Yeah, we're 1-1 with each other, so it'll be good to have a kind of rubber match.
And obviously your game's evolved a lot since those days. I mean, how do you think you match up with him now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a totally different athlete. At that time, I didn't have the way that I lost the match was I took a bad double leg. It was just super telegraphed, and he caught me in a guillotine. I know that if he was to get a victory over me, that would be his strongest weapon. I think the threat that he has against anybody is a good guillotine, a good arm and guillotine. So taking shots on him, obviously, is something that you have to be aware of. But I do know that that's his weapon. We do a lot of kind of preventative measures in the gym to make sure that we're ready if that was to occur. So I'm not too worried about it. And I think if you look at our games overall on a technical level, I think that if you were to point out his strengths and my strengths, mine pretty much outweigh his by quite a bit.
What would it mean to you to become the who's number one light heavyweight champion?
That'd just be another big title to have under my belt. I think after ADCC, who's number one is pretty much the biggest no-gi grappling event in the world that puts on the most frequent events at a high level. So it would just be another prestigious title to have under my resume.
One of your teammates, main training partners here, also has a hell of a match on this card. Luke Griffith's going against Rita. What do you think about this matchup?
I think it's an awesome match for Luke. Luke competed at ADCC. It was his first big event. I know he didn't get the result that he wanted, but he put on a freaking toe-to-toe battle against the absolute champ that could have gone either way, honestly. I think that this is going to be a good chance for him to test himself again against somebody who's tough. I competed against Heisam twice, most recently at ADCC in the absolute, so he's a super athletic guy, but I think that he has kind of like explosive submissions and things that he can put on, but I just think that Luke is physically and technically just on another level. So it's going to be a good experience for Luke, and I think it's going to just kind of push him up the ladder a little bit further.
We just interviewed John and Gordon, and they both had kind of the same thing to say about Luke, that he's a killer in the room, but that hasn't translated to competition yet. Just how good is Luke in the room? Dude,
he's freaking 20 years old, and he just competed at ADCC. And like I said, he went toe-to-toe with the current absolute champ, two-time ADCC champ. And you're against a guy who's got so much more experience under his belt, which counts for a lot in tournaments of that level. So, I mean, at 20 years old, I wish I was competing at ADCC. Like, he literally has 10 more ADCCs under his belt to compete in. So I think you haven't even seen a little bit of what he's capable of. You're just kind of scratching the surface now in terms of his physical and technical potential. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of him, I'm sure.
All right. So you guys are going to be the main event for the title. I mean, Everybody loves to put on a show who's number one. What do you think the fans can expect from you and Pedro?
I think for me, the most important thing for me, outside of winning, is obviously the goal at the end of the day. But the most important thing for me is just performing in a way that captivates the fans. And I think I do a good job of that already. But with each performance, I think you saw it with my matches at ADCC, the previous tournaments that I competed in, and before that, you saw that with each performance I was building, my confidence was getting better, and my performances were just getting more exciting. So for me, it's about putting on just like a technical showcase that will captivate the fans, and just the memory of the jiu-jitsu itself to leave that to the fans. So for me, it's about just putting on a sick performance and just building off of that.
All right, everybody, tune in November 11th for Giancarlo Bodoni versus Pedro Marinho for the who's number one light heavyweight bout. Thanks.
Thanks.